we get one of the most surprising outcomes in Death Battle history, followed by the weirdest reveal in Death Battle history. All that and maybe more, we're not sure yet, on today's episode of BrobusCast Death Battle Edition. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of BrobusCast. I'm your host, Brobuscus. With me today is ZDogg.
Somebody pinch me, I must be dreaming. Ow! 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 Well, I'm not dreaming.
And Richard.
All those wrong notes you played sounded fantastic.
All right.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm so ready. Oh my gosh. Okay. Because we got some good stuff. We got some good stuff served up today.
Yes.
All right. Well, before you get your pop-off moment, it's time for me to get my pop-off moment. Because my gosh, Trunks versus Silver. Okay.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
I need to talk about this. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, this is so good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So, oh my gosh. Like, man, Dragon Ball, and Death Battle should have a marriage because they're so good together.
Don't let the Dragon Ball community hear you say that.
Yeah.
They want a divorce.
They so do though. Like, what the heck? All right. So, oh my gosh. All right. This is the best part of the episode. So all those memes you've more than most likely seen floating around when this episode got announced of all the different versus animations that Trunks has been in. He's won pretty much all of them. Whether it be against Silver, whether it be against freaking Zoro, Link. I've seen him put against the freaking Flash, which makes no freaking sense. But what makes even less sense is that he's won all of them, every single one. He has not lost a single one, and I know what you might be thinking, and those don't count.
Great.
Yeah.
But it's finally over.
Yep. The champ, the underdog did it. You love to see it. Oh my gosh.
You love to see it. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever had a better pop-off moment. You've seen my reaction. You know how I was. Oh my gosh. I may or may not have that shout I did, it left my throat not like shot, but I felt an aftermath. I'll say that much. I could not have been happier to see Silver win this fight.
Honestly, I mean, yeah, honestly, I think a lot of people were. Man, like, I mean, obviously I feel bad for all the Trunks fans, but man, I mean, I'm kind of happy about this.
No, you know what's great though is that most of the reaction videos I've seen, at least the good ones, even those that say they prefer Trunks over Silver, still pop off at Silver taking the win.
Yep. Absolutely. I love it.
And it is so. For me, I'm a huge Sonic fan. I'm a huge Silver fan. And I gotta be honest with you, it is so heartwarming.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean no disrespect against Trunks. He's a fine enough character. I feel no ill will against him. But to see all these, to not only see my preferred character win this time around, was one shock in and of itself, but to look at all the other reaction videos and a bunch of people are absolutely just popping off over Silver taking the win, I'm like, wait, really? I wasn't the only one?
I definitely agree. As I am a bigger Trunks fan than I am a Silver fan, but I really, really wanted Silver to get the gold because it was about time, like Brobuscus said. Trunks has just kind of overshadowed the Versus community with all of his constant wins against Silver and other characters. So seeing Trunks get humble pied, it was hard to swallow at first, but again, it was like, look, Silver needed this. Silver,
he absolutely
deserved
and
this.
the fact that it was Xeno Trunks as well.
Yeah.
like, it's not just it wasn't just regular old Trunks. It was like the big strong Trunks. It was granted, it was against the big strong Silver, but still.
What's this, man?
I guess I should have said this before we actually started this. Before we actually started the segment, since you can more than most likely hear her in the background, as well as the audio still not being what it used to be. If you saw my reaction video, I'm still in my mom's office right now. I'm still dog sitting while they're out. So I have 2 dogs with me. They're both loud. And I don't really have a proper microphone, so audio's gonna be a little scuffed for this one, but we will push past it. But I'm saying that because my dogs bark at literally everything, so if/when you hear them barking in the background, you know what's up now.
Yep.
Agreed.
So anyways, sorry. I had to get that out of the way because I could hear her going insane in the family room. But yeah, so Silver won. You love to see it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And I mean,
So-
trying to wrap my head around Dragon Ball Heroes and Archie Sonic is an impossible task in and of itself. But at the same time, it's like for this matchup in particular, it's like I'm not really that I'm not really that expert in either, and I refuse to try to wrap my head around it. So I'm just gonna go with what they say.
I'm sorry, that helps.
Yeah, I mean what they said made enough. What they said made enough sense to me. Once they said that once I got through Trunks' analysis and I was like, wait, they didn't bring up anything on the immeasurable speed front for Trunks. Wait a minute. I started to be like, oh boy, I feel like I'm about to overlook this because there's been a lot of times when I'm desperately rooting for my favorite character to win, and I just overlook something that was said in either his analysis or his opponent's analysis, and I just roll with that. It happened to me with Raiden, and I got horribly screwed over by that. But but as soon as they didn't mention like how like Dragon Ball Heroes having incalculable speeds, because I guess that's just not how Dragon Ball works. I was like, oh, wait a minute. And just watching through Silver's, I was like, is Silver actually going to win this, or am I just really overlooking this? Because it made me feel like more confident that Silver was going to win. But I'm like, they're chopping me, aren't they? It's like they've got to be chopping me.
Not today.
Nope.
It actually happened.
In fact, actually, it was funny because I thought it's funny because when I finished the analysis, I was like, I'm sure I missed something for Trunks, but in reality, I actually missed something for Silver, which was because I had remembered after the fact. I was like, wait, the Key Sword can shut down powers, and I don't remember hearing anything for Silver that could resist that. Completely forgetting the Super Genesis wave being completely ignored by Super Sonic and Super Mega Man. So I was like, oh, whoops.
Yep, there you go.
Exactly. I'm kind of an expert on Heroes and Xenoverse Trunks between all of us combined, and I think the best part, since we're just talking about both of them, I think my favorite part transitioning into the analysis was finally seeing Heroes and Xenoverse be discussed in Death Battle, because for all this time we've had Dragon Ball characters, they've kind of just stuck to let's just call it the main canon Dragon Ball that we all know and love. But now that they're getting into Heroes and Xenoverse, it was just so.
Now we're getting into the Dragon Ball that we all know and hate. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. Well, I mean, I also just, I don't know. Maybe this comes with how horribly Super Trunks was portrayed, but I really just loved seeing Hero/Zeno Trunks here because he is still the badass that I remember him as, and he's not just a guy who in the future got his ass kicked by a demigod who stole Goku's body, and he's just kind of whining, trying to figure out how to fix his situation instead of actually doing something.
And then has one of the worst Super Saiyan forms.
I mean, yeah.
I'm very glad that they made like no mention of Super Saiyan Rage because like my gosh, I hate it.
Yeah, no, it is. It's very stupid. Is it a badass transformation when he does it? Yes, but as a transformation, it makes no absolute sense. And to this day, they just they don't pay any attention to it. So I was happy to see. I was happy to see this Trunks because again, I wanted a Trunks that could achieve godhood, and could actually be on Goku and Vegeta's level, and Hero Trunks is that. So it was cool to see him. And then Silver, I was like, oh, thank you, God, for just not having them use 06 Silver.
Oh man, I'm so glad that they because it's become kind of a common thing at this point to just take pot shots at not just Sonic 06, but just Silver in general.
Common as breathing.
Yeah, and I'm very glad that they kept it to like the absolute bare minimum. I think they took like one pot shot at 06, and that was it.
Yeah, because of the lease thing.
Yeah.
Gosh, of course. Yeah, but otherwise, they did spare a lot of 06 so
Yeah, I'm very glad to see it.
Yes, and it really also did a good job of portraying just what these particular incarnations of the characters have gone through compared to their main canon counterparts.
Yeah, because I'm gonna be real, like more so on Trunks' behalf, because regular main canon Trunks is just another Super Saiyan, but with a sword. Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. Like I mean, I still wouldn't mind seeing regular main future Trunks in Death Battle, but like nowadays when we get so many of them, it's like
it's like you're not wrong. I mean, okay, look, main Trunks is what I grew up with. He is my boy. I put him over Vegeta and Goku and Piccolo and Gohan at any fucking point. But compared to Hero/Zeno Trunks, regular Trunks is kind of vanilla compared to the complex shit that Heroes Trunks has to go through on just a daily basis.
It's just right now when we have so many like high tier heavy hitter Dragon Ball characters, like we got Beerus, we got Broly, we got Goku Black, we got Vegeta again. It's like would having regular I feel like having regular mainline future Trunks now would feel like more of the same thing.
He would just be blending in with the crowd, and he wouldn't really stick out.
Yeah,
exactly. I know that was when Trunks was revealed for this half, a big one. So I'm glad that they mixed it up, switched it up, decided to give us some stuff that was unknown to us, and
Yes, and I do love seeing. I don't generally watch people's reactions to the analysis portions because to me it's like
I do when the matchup calls for it.
Yes, and this definitely was a special occasion because I wanted to see people's reactions to. This isn't the Trunks you think you know. This isn't even Dragon Ball.
This isn't even the Dragon Ball you know.
Yeah, so
this is some 12-year-old kid's wet dream Dragon Ball.
Yes, and for better or for worse, this episode is now responsible for getting more people in the United States and in overseas territories introduced into the concept of heroes. And then you're kind of wondering, oh, when can I get in on that action? And then you have to be let down with disappointment. Never, because Japan and Toei still does not want to let heroes come anywhere near the U.S. or other territories. They want to keep that shit to themselves.
I tried looking up, seeing because Dragon Ball Heroes, there's an anime. And I was looking it up. I was like, does this show have like an English dub? Because if it does, I might watch it. And nope, no, it does not.
It's not even an anime. It's literally a short. It's an anime short. It's meant to promote the overall card game storyline. Yeah. And it does have a manga that I think has English translations. But still,
fantastic.
Yeah, no.
I can't wait to not read it.
No, you're never gonna get the full Heroes experience like Toei Japan has.
Basically, just play Xenoverse.
That's a good outlet. It's a good compromise.
Yeah. And in failing that, there's Let's Plays for it. I personally recommend the Max a Few Trades. He is actually currently playing through Xenoverse 2 right now on his channel, which was very convenient. I wonder if that, obviously that wasn't intentional. He doesn't know future episodes anymore, but I have to wonder. It was like, I'm playing through Xenoverse 2 right now. Well, I mean, he's not right now. It's just going through on his channel. But I was like, wow, my Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 Let's Play is going up right now, and we got Xeno Trunks. Crazy that.
But and then again, on the opposite end, analysis-wise, it was just so cool to finally see Silver portrayed in a much better light than his main counterpart, because again, Silver in the Archie universe actually has a compelling story going on for him.
Yeah. I think I imagine the Archie comics had a bit of a hand in it, but I like to think that a lot of people who really hated Silver way back when have kind of just grown warmer to him with more recent games. He has one of the best boss fights in Sonic Generations, so that's definitely going for him. Also, one of the best boss themes. Oh my gosh, Silver's boss theme in Generations is so freaking good. And then the writing for him in Team Sonic Racing, which we will come back to. That probably helped matters a little bit. So, and now I guess with Ian Flynn writing for the games, maybe if Silver has a reappearance in a future Sonic game, then who knows?
Maybe.
Yes, exactly.
Although, I wonder if I actually should bring this up, because on the topic of Ian Flynn, he actually watched the episode, which I was not expecting. But what took me by even bigger surprise is that he actually disagrees with the episode's results, which is weird. That I mean, whatever, right? But
exactly. But
okay, it's his opinion, because this isn't the first time we've had creators disagree with Death Battle's pairing or outcomes. I mean, the creator of Bayonetta and Dante heavily disagreed with Dante winning and argued Bayonetta would absolutely win. It's like,
I imagine a lot of that was just people keep constantly asking him, like, hey, do you agree with this? Hey, do you agree with this? Hey, do you agree with this?
That's fair.
Don't do that.
Which brings me back to this point. Ian disagrees with Silver beating Trunks. All right, whatever. He's free to feel that way. I don't care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I this isn't a suggestion. This is an order. Don't stop. Just stop asking him. Don't ask him about it anymore. He said his piece.
Yeah.
He's back down. We can move on with our lives. Please don't take his word for 100%.
No.
Please.
It's like he disagrees with Silver beating Trunks, but that doesn't mean that doesn't mean you should disagree as well. It's just that's what he thinks. You have what you think.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like it's literally like the old saying goes: opinions are like buttholes. We all have them.
yep.
Yeah.
And just don't. Please don't harass him. Just think what you want.
Yeah, please don't. He doesn't deserve that.
And,
No,
yeah,
come on.
and don't. I mean, and also this fight is like stupidly debatable.
Yeah.
This is true. Yes, and they
just don't harass him about it. And like, if you disagree, that's fine. Just don't harass people.
Yeah.
look. If he
does-
disagrees with it, then he can do his own. He can do his own comic where he does this fight in his own personal.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
outcome.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Though the one thing that does confuse me about the way he thinks, though, just kind of like, all right, sure. Why don't we talk about what he was saying? Just for, I don't know, the heck of it. One thing that he brought up was that he disagrees with Silver being able to have the Chaos Emeralds, which makes no sense to me. I think he also talked about how Sonic and Mega Man were affected by the Super Genesis wave, but I think I could be getting details wrong, but I think what he was talking about was the actual reboot. Not the Genesis wave itself. I think that's what I think that's the impression I've been getting. Because like there was that massive wave that erased everybody except for Super Sonic and Super Mega Man. And then the two of them had a big, chaos control, and it got botched or something, and it reset the universe, and that is what affected them. I think. I could be getting that wrong, but Ultra spoke out. I'm just saying, Ultra spoke out about it, and there are different things that were being talked about. Maybe could have worded it better. I don't freaking know.
Yeah, no. I mean, okay, look. Again, we're all they themselves mentioned this. There are tons of ways this fight could have gone to where it arguably could have been in Trunks' favor, but it was ultimately going to come down to, okay, can Trunks get past Silver's OP abilities? And that's ultimately what. Yeah, and his super form. And from the evidence and the research that they gathered, and they came to the conclusion to, no, he could not. And
if you think he could, I mean, good for you.
Right.
Yeah,
So.
This fight is debatable. This is a debatable fight that you could come to your own conclusion.
Yeah.
It's basically just a matter, for me at least, and this was the case since day one. It was always a matter of, can Trunks outlast Super Silver? Because if he can, then he just mops the floor with them. Because they even say it in the episode, Silver in his base form would get slaughtered.
Yeah.
But it's just a question of, it's actually kind of interesting to me that they don't bring up any sort of time limit for either of them.
I mean,
but I guess that
they
wasn't...
did in this.
I guess-
One of the points at the end screen, but
yeah, because if
there was like it was weird to me because like I noticed it in my reaction. I was like, shorter time, like they said that Silver had a shorter super form duration.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, what? He does?
but they never left.
Yeah.
Never left.
So, I mean, okay. I mean, I've said this multiple times. If you are not caught up with Dragon Ball, regular Super Saiyan transformations, once you've mastered them completely, you can use them without any loss or drain in stamina or power control. And Super Saiyan God is essentially, it just gives you more unlimited stamina compared to Super Saiyan Blue, which drains you because you're balancing your ki control.
Okay.
So theoretically, if this was just a battle of whose super form could outlast who, then Trunks would win because his super forms, for the most part, they don't have any specific time limit. They last as long as he still has ki in his body.
All right, fair enough. It's just I always remember. I mean, you're right. I'm not really caught up with Dragon Ball, but I always remember Super Saiyan forms, whether it be God or otherwise. I always remember them having a history of running out, and fast. Long enough to win fights, but short enough where that it is a problem. Whereas with the super forms in Sonic, at least in the Archie comics, Sonic's super form lasted from day into night. So it was like, I don't know. That's kind of the comparison that I had. So the way you say that, fair enough.
Okay. If this was just Super Form Silver versus, say, Super Saiyan 3 Trunks before he got his God key unlocked and he had Super Saiyan God, then I do believe that Silver would be able to slightly outlast him because Super Saiyan 3 is the transformation that takes a lot out of the person who is using it, unless you have a tail, because a tail helps you control your Super Saiyan forms much better to where you can use them without any loss in ki or stamina.
Right. And then Trunks, just by biology, probably didn't have one anyway. So.
Because he is a half Saiyan.
Yeah.
Well, no. Well, either way, that's a topic for another day. So.
Yeah. Also irrelevant. So whatever.
Yeah. Also, analysis highlight for me: Jocelyn coming in.
Jocelyn.
Oh yes, the girl, the queen,
Yeah,
of research, coming in to explain both Dragon Ball Heroes and the Archie universe.
Yeah.
And how Spawn is there.
I did not know about Spawn.
I forgot about that. I completely forgot. I saw it in a panel. No context. I just saw that. Somebody brought up, it's like, oh yeah, did you know Archie Sonic crossed over with Spawn? And I was like, oh, cool, neat.
Yeah.
And
I knew about
Spawn.
it's like obviously. I didn't know about Sabrina either, but it's like obviously we knew about Mega Man. That's the big crossover.
Mega Man,
there are Archie Mega Man comics, so it's like that makes sense.
Why not?
And you mix the two together and it works. Sonic versus Mega Man is a pretty big match, so yeah.
There you go.
But then I'm like, okay, so Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I mean, alright, cool. I didn't know about that, but alright. And then they just bring up, out of nowhere, Spawn, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, okay. I didn't know about that. It is interesting to me, though, that they use that sort of, like, the whole multiverse thing, the whole crossovers as, like, a factor for how big the Archie Sonic multiverse is compared to the Xenoverse.
I mean, well, they did hit the nail on the head. The Archie multiverse works exactly like the DC multiverse.
Yeah. If there's one thing it's not a problem for me, but I have seen someone bring up one of the issues they felt for Trunks' analysis was that it focused more on Dragon Ball Heroes than specifically Trunks. But I'm like, I mean, I guess, but I also feel like that was kind of the point. Because Dragon Ball Heroes is freaking weird.
Okay. I kind of see what they're going for because, again, for those who have never seen Dragon Ball and this is their first introduction to Trunks and they want the full shebang, it's not like they didn't give you a good rundown on who Trunks is as a character, what he's been through, and what he's currently doing at this moment.
Yeah.
And again, that kind of had to be the point. They had to put the spotlight on Heroes in Xenoverse. They couldn't just put it on Trunks. If you just wanted them to put the spotlight on Trunks, then maybe wait a few years until we get mainline Trunks.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I can't really think of anything else. So let's talk about this.
Oh wait, there's one thing I wanted to
Sure.
bring up that I didn't realize. The whole thing at the end where your power level, the Dragon Ball power level, depends on how the time skip thing. Like, I didn't know that, but it was neat to learn about because like I almost never heard that brought up when talking about this episode or like in any Dragon Ball fight. So that was neat to hear about. So.
It was. But still confusing because, once again, Dragon Ball just has to be confusing.
Yep.
That
Very
seems
cool.
to be its MO at this point. That reminds me, has Ultra Ego done anything cool yet? No? Cool, alright, let's move on.
Under the fight, let's go.
Yeah, let's go! Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, God.
Okay. I think I need to get what's probably the most impressive thing about this, at least for me, is that this is just the general idea of Trunks versus Silver is an idea that I thought was completely stupid and redundant and didn't need to happen. Because we have Vegeta versus Shadow. Yes, it's 11 years old, but shut up. We have Vegeta versus Shadow. We have a bunch of Dragon Ball fights nowadays. We have quite a few Sonic fights nowadays. It's like, I think everybody worth their salt knows that Trunks just mops the floor with Silver, which would mean the wait would be boring, the fight would be boring. It'd just be like, get to the point, just let it happen.
I guess what wasn't boring.
So like when they showed Trunks at in that teaser they did, I was like, oh boy. I was like, here we go. Like it's like ZDogg said, it's like dread it, run from it. Trunks versus Silver rhymes all the same. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. Like knew this was gonna happen. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off now. I know Silver's gonna lose. I know this is gonna be I just felt like doing a 20-minute long episode on this matchup was just the worst idea because it's like, well, what's the point? Everyone knows that Trunks is going to win.
Yes.
So it's like, I just thought that it was kind of a similar thing with Korra versus Storm, except we only had the 2 weeks for that. I know Korra was shown in the teaser. Shut up, you get what I'm trying to say. But it was like Trunks vs. Silver has been a match that's been around for like ever. So it's like I knew they were gonna do it eventually. So it's like here we go. So I think personally the most impressive thing about this episode is the fact that they took the idea, put a spin on it, and made it one of my favorite episodes of the season.
I would just say they threw what we were all thinking it would be. They took that out of our brains, threw it in the trash, lit it on fire, and presented us this.
Yeah.
Because
My God, this is so awesome.
This
alright.
fight is, dude. I saw a reaction video that said that on first watch this is really hype, but I can imagine watching it again, it won't be as good as I remember it. And I'm like,
wrong.
well, I'll tell you right now, I've seen this fight probably like 500 times, and I'll tell you this right now, I do not feel any different about it from the first time I watched it.
I have seen it 6-7 times now, and it has not gotten boring. It has not lost the hype.
Yeah.
This fight is the hype. Oh my God! It's like,
Oh my God.
Jesus. This okay. For people who felt this way about Vegeta versus Thor, this is how I wanted to feel, but I didn't get it there. Now I finally have it.
There you go.
There you go.
It is so Man.
It's like I've seen so many like small issues people bring up, like, oh, the sprites don't match up that well. Oh, most of the things that Silver does is just throwing things around. Bunch of other things that I don't want to get into. And I'm like, hey, guess how much I care. Spoiler alert, I don't.
Here's a bag of how many fucks I give. I think you'll find the bag is empty.
Yeah.
Look, all right, look. If you really expected a Trunks to throw hands with a fucking cartoonish silver hedgehog, why?
Yeah, I don't know. And the whole thing about Silver, like, all he does is throw things. I'm like, okay, well, first off, that's kind of his main thing.
Yeah.
He's not a close range fighter. He is a long distance fighter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Heck, in the last episode, I briefly mentioned the woman at Melee. Well, when I went back to rewatch it, one of the things I noticed was that Silver actually does throw hands. I'm like, wait, that's not right. That ain't right. This is not correct.
Yeah, no.
It's like that's one of my problems with the woman in Melee is that Silver goes physical.
Yes, no. It's like, look, here's how this works. Sonic runs fast. Shadow is the one to get up close and personal, and Silver is the one to keep his distance. These are what makes these three unique in how they approach a fight.
Yeah. Yep. But not only that, but like Silver does do more than just throwing things. He redirects a bunch of energy attacks, including one where he redirects it. It kills Pan and Goku. And then he just and then he's like, "Oh, you think I'm done with this?" And he just brings it back.
Yeah.
Then merges it. Like,
cool.
he does more than just throw buildings and rocks. That there's a point to it. But
Exactly.
Dude freaking busts the moon.
it's like I just gotta say that the best thing about this fight is the one thing I nagged and complained, and I still feel about Jeets versus Thor is the pacing. I don't like it when they take it literally. It's like, oh, Dragon Ball fights have to be fast-paced. They have to go fast. They have to feel fast. You know, it's like they're on a roller coaster. It's just one loop after another. There's no in-between. There's no breathing room. This is what a Dragon Ball fight should be. It's not just fisticuffs, flash, all of that. There's actual building to it.
Building. I get it.
Yeah, no pun intended. But this fight, just like, oh my god! Like, again, the pacing is one of the many good things about it. The other good things is just the choreography and the fact that it's mostly, again, it's just Trunks it's just a game of cat and mouse.
Yeah, Trunks is trying his absolute hardest to getting close. He just can't.
Yes, and
that's the whole point of Silver's abilities. It's playing keep away.
Yes, and thank you also for not having Trunks and Silver go Super Saiyan and Super Silver like 10 or 20 seconds into the fight.
No, but I will admit, Silver does go Super Silver a lot faster than I expected him to.
Yeah, definitely. And I get it, but like, wow.
Yeah, no, I got it. I knew what they were doing, but I saw that for the first time, and I was like, you are going Super Silver really fast. So I don't know. That could have also just been, in general, my paranoia.
Yeah, that's fair.
But just in general, we start in a city, just a regular, whatever city. And then we go to the same city, except it's in shambles. And then we go to freaking space, and the moon gets busted.
Awesome.
And then freaking, Trunks is like, oh, I know what to do. Pulls out cards, and now we got freaking Pan and GT Goku. It's like, oh, okay.
Yes.
Um,
And then we get yes, no, and also too, I love that. Now we get Trunks. We get Trunks using 3 different beam attacks. He uses the Masenko. He uses the Gallic gun, and he uses the Final Flash.
yeah.
And each of just the special effects for these just look
Oh my
so
gosh.
Oh
my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Especially like again, once you see Trunks' Final Flash, it's just so cooler. Because again, I like that it's a red Super Saiyan God Final Flash, whereas you have Vegeta's who used a combination of his own ki and Hakai for his Final Flash.
Yeah. And just in general, like I mentioned, Silver like bringing back the 2 energy blasts and then merging it into Trunks' own attack. Not only does that look like, not only is that a spectacle to watch, but also Trunks gets hit by it, powers through it, turns into his god form, and then all you see is this red light go through the Gallic gun. I'm like, whoa, okay.
And then just him pummeling the shit out of Super Silver.
Yeah.
And even before that, the most badass thing he does is he holds the blast back with his regular sword until it breaks.
Yeah.
Like, and then again, once he brings out that key sword, oh my god.
The stuff with the keyboard is so cool. Just the initial impact of the freaking key sword was so cool. What was tense and like freaking the effects on like time basically shattering.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Ben said in the commentary that what the goal for that was like time is it's speeding up, it's slowing down, and it's stopping. At basically the exact same time.
Yeah.
I just watched the storyboards for this on John Mitchell's Twitter page, which you can go follow him, and just seeing it in the boards and then in the finished version, it's so cool.
Yeah, it really is. Oh my god.
And then both of them using their ultimate time hacks.
Yeah.
Silver getting transported into the time labyrinth,
which looks so freaking cool.
It's so cool looking.
This is the most beautiful final fight setting I have seen in a death battle.
Yeah, and the freaking setup for like the eternal time labyrinth, all the shit.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And again, this does a great job tricking you, thinking, okay, Silver's got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And Trunks comes in with the key sword, about to impale him, and Silver turns that around, takes the blade, brings it back, and
stabs
Trunks,
him with it.
It's not even a matter. It's not even instantaneous. I love that Trunks is able to hold it for a time.
Struggled for a second, but wasn't able to do it.
Like, it took, again, for people who say, oh, Trunks got done dirty in this, like, that's bullshit. He could have got, it's like, look, the fact that Trunks was able to hold his own attack back for just a couple of seconds until Silver had to give it one final push until he got impaled and erased. I think that speaks volumes that this is how tough Trunks was.
Yeah.
Plus, like, it took a officially licensed fanfic version of a Sonic character to beat him. It's like, I don't, just off that alone, I wouldn't say he was done dirty.
No.
Yes, no, he was not. It's like, my only nitpick is I think you could have had him get away from the sword, like do his short teleportation as he's able to push it back. He teleports, and Silver just anticipates this, and from behind, as soon as Trunks reappears, boom, he's stabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just one tiny nitpick. Everything
and that's not even getting it like back to the time labyrinth for a second.
Yes,
That's not
because
even
we
getting
have
to-
Easter eggs to go
A
through.
lot of Easter eggs. Oh my god.
Yes, oh my
And
God.
apparently,
Right.
Billy has said that we still haven't found all of them.
That makes
Um,
sense.
Yeah.
But like some of the ones that people have caught, saw Cable. Cable showed up briefly.
Yeah. There's
uh,
Cable, there's Booster Gold, there's Link, there's Chrono, which is cute.
Yeah.
There's
Yes.
Blink, and Blink's
Yes,
the cat.
there's Green.
Yeah, Blinks
there's
for
Green
whatever
Lantern.
reason.
Yeah, there's Green Lantern. There's the Goomba with the boot.
Yes. True from that. Love it. And and there's Fleetway Sonics.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Fleetway Sonic shows up too.
Yeah, and I heard someone said they found Blaze, but I'm not able to.
I think I heard that too, but I'm not able to find it.
Yeah.
I mean that would check, but still.
Yeah. Hold on. I think they
I
said
think-
a lot of them on the wiki. Hold on.
Archie Sonic was also there as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. LP Sonic, which makes sense.
Yeah, that tracks.
Hold on.
I believe someone has also said that they caught Wally as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, everybody who has dabbled with time is in these crystals.
Basically, yeah.
Basically.
I found a list of them on the wiki if you want me to read them off.
All right, shoot.
Past Death Battle combatants: Koopa Troopa from the events of Koopa vs. Koopa 2, Link, Green Lantern, Cable, Booster Gold, Wally West, Archie Sonic, and Reverse Flash, which I don't think we said. And then
I don't
some of the other ones.
Flash. All right.
Some of the other ones they say are Wiz, Sailor Pluto, Blaze the Cat, Blinks, Chrono, Fleetway Supersonic, and the Goomba Shoe, and Kuribo's Boot.
That's awesome.
Weird.
So
I don't remember.
I haven't been able to find all of them, but like, man, that was so cool.
I don't remember a lot of those, but all right. I mean, I choose to believe them, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also something else, because again, Mate pointed this out to me. For those of you who are wondering, because whenever Trunks pulls out the 3 cards, and you see him throw them,
right.
you just see GT, Pan, and Goku, and you're wondering, well, wait a minute, what was the 3rd card? Well, if you look in the back, when Trunks is just about to attack, you see Oolong, and he's out there floating dead. You see a dead Oolong.
It's so good.
And also, Mate and Brobuscus spotted this. When they go to the moon, you see the Macho Man and Kool-Aid Man constellation.
Yeah.
I love that they threw that in.
Yeah.
Yes.
So great. So,
Yes, and again, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, you know they put a lot of references. Trunks does his signature burning attack hand motion. He, of course, does his other attacks, the Masenko, the Final Flash, and the Galagun. And, of course, he also has his regular sword attacks, and everything Archie is doing is just straight up Archie Silver.
Yeah. There's also they also throw in a lot of Dragon Ball sound effects, a lot more than usual.
Yes.
So yeah, I think they said on commentary that they had a new sound designer for this one. So
yeah, I did notice that the sound design is not better, but it's different.
Yeah. So kudos to this guy. I forget his name, but I congratulate you, good sir.
Yes, and speaking of congratulations, we really got to give it to the 2D department for this, because Luis, Zack Attack, Assassin Knight, and Origin, all of them did so good. The custom sprites for Trunks and Pan, those were all done by Origin. He also did some rigging. It was his first time doing a little bit of rigging in this, so I don't know what scenes he rigged, but he did them. And of course, I already mentioned John Mitchell, and just oh my god, this is my personal favorite animation of the season.
honestly, man, we like. I know this is like, and I'll bring this up before we move on to the next episode, but just like we're being reminded of how stacked this season is, and now we have this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, when does it end? Like,
Yeah.
Easy when the season ends.
at this point, like someone said in the Death Battle server, it's like season 9 have a bad episode. Season 9 of a bad episode challenge, impossible. I'm like, at this point, it might as well be impossible. Like we're 11 episodes in, and all of them are really good. It's like
They really are. I mean, okay,
Yeah,
there are
for
some
real.
that are not that good, but they're not bad. I mean,
Like, yeah, like the worst you could say about an episode this season, IMO, is that it's okay.
yeah.
I mean, like
That's a
even some
good
of the
shape
worst
to have, I think.
It's like even some of the worst ones for me, I'm like, I can still go back to them and be like, yeah, I enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, no. I mean, the one that even Boba Fett vs. Predator, which I considered the weakest episode of the season so far, there's still merit to it. It's not bad. It's just okay.
Exactly.
But also too, can we please talk about the voice acting?
Oh my gosh!
Exactly.
Okay. Oh man. Okay.
Alright.
I'm going to reserve a lot of my like my strongest opinions on the voice acting because obviously we got to talk about Kaiser.
Yes.
Okay.
Kaiser is back.
Yeah, you love this. Yeah. So no one's surprised. And
no
oh my
one's
gosh, he's so
surprised.
good.
He was great. He was fantastic.
Yeah, but there's literally, I said this in our chat earlier. There's literally only one delivery from him that I don't like. But,
yeah.
Which
Yeah, I'm
I guess
kind of in a
I guess I
similar
will
boat.
go into that.
I
I guess I will go into that real quick.
Yeah.
Not really into his shout of the Eternal Time Labyrinth. Like, I mean, this could be unfair, especially compared to Silver's Chronos Control shout. It's just,
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like it should be more urgent. Like, it just sounds like a bit lazy
It sounds like he's
compared
kind of
to-
rushing through it.
yeah,
exactly.
It-
But I mean, I can understand, like, considering the situation they're in, but like, I mean, and also I feel like a lot more emphasis should have been on Labyrinth, like Eternal Time Labyrinth or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, like
Maybe.
really put more energy into the labyrinth part.
I think-
Exactly.
I think
So, like-
I feel like this is like almost a bit of a backhanded compliment because not really compliment. I think the problem I have with Kaiser's Trunks in general, and this isn't really his fault per se. It's just comparing it to like the last two Dragon Ball fights we got. We got like Michael Kovac as Goku Black and Lanny as Vegeta. It's like those two had those like with Michael Kovac, we had his like one of the most powerful Kamehameha shots I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, and like, death shouts.
And then obviously Vegeta's Lanny's final flash.
Yeah.
I
I would.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think the one thing I was kind of hoping for was that Trunks would have that kind of moment as well, where he has this big attack, and he's and his voice actor gives it his all to make sure you know that that is a powerful attack and it should be avoided if not deflected or whatever.
Ironically, I feel like Silver had that moment more than anything.
That is true. Yes,
Honestly.
but okay. Let me just counterpoint. He may not have had that final that impact on the attack, but I will say I think he had the best delivery when it came to his final kill shout before he got hit in him. I would say that this is it, Time Hog, the end of your future.
That was good.
That makes up for him not having his own attack epic moment, in my opinion.
That's fair.
I'm not trying to obviously I'm not trying to diss on him. He did really good. All the parts. The Time Hog, the Time Hog one, his death shout. Honestly,
The rip-off line.
Yeah.
The rip-off line. Freaking
crap baskets.
Yeah, the crap basket. I would also say
That made me laugh so hard.
I think also, I think I even laughed even more harder than the gotcha line. Like freaking, come on, and
Yes.
good enough. That was so good.
Yes,
Like-
he does. Again, that is something I feel like Kaiser has that the other two. Again, like Kaiser has a much better comedic delivery because he voiced some of the comedic characters on Dragon Ball Abridged, and
True.
his Trunk also had a bit of comedic angst to him. So I
Mhm.
love how he brought that back.
Yeah.
And again, I
while
mean,
still acting like regular Trunks.
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yes, and also too, yes, he may not have had the. Again, it's unfair to compare his final because I was gonna say,
I know it's super unfair, but
but
I'm just saying that's something I was kind of expecting.
He did. I think he did a better job with his Gallic gun shout than his Masenko.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know about these guys, but Kaiser was always my favorite fan impression of Trunks, and I was very, very sad that, oh man, Dragon Ball Z Abridged Epilogue, this is it. This is the last time we're going to see him play this character until he comes back to voice him in something Teen Trunks related or what have you. But I'm so happy he came back.
Absolutely.
And also, too,
really good.
it's like, look, here's another thing to kind of put the again, I'm not trying to take anything away from you-know-who, but let me just say this. To put the final cap on how good Kaiser was in this fight, it wasn't just the fact that the fans demanded he be in here, and the fans in the when they saw the preview, they were literally freaking out. Oh my God, it's Kaiser! It's Kaiser! But Ian Flynn said that his favorite episode was seeing Scott come back to play Trunks.
Oh, that was so wholesome to see.
That was so fun.
So glad.
Ian Flynn, man, Ian Flynn is such a good guy. So
Yes. So, in my opinion, Trunks was my highlight of this animation, voice acting wise.
yeah.
I really don't know if I can choose between the two. My God, don't make me choose.
I will say before we transition, a lot of the like re-uploads of the preview, which by the way is borderline illegal. Don't do that. A lot of the comments I saw on them were like popping off, like, "Hey, Kaiser's back." It's like, I don't see a lot of comments about the voice actors anymore, so it was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, I think it's just because Kaiser, again, people grew up with Dragon Ball Z Abridged. It was their gateway into Dragon Ball. So Kaiser is kind of a son. He is a son hero. So him being here, maybe that's another thing too. I don't remember people popping off that much when Lenny came back. Like, they were happy to see him, but it's like they weren't demanding or going crazy. It's like, so maybe again, I think that just shows that people kind of like Scott's Trunks more than they do Lenny's Vegeta. I don't know. They're both great in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now all we need is Takahaka 101 to come back to play Cell in Death Battle.
Well, that's assuming they don't just ask Devil Artemis to do it.
That if they ask Devil Artemis, I'm fine with that. I'll take. It's a win-win.
Yeah.
But
I think they even brought that topic up on a cast at one point. It's like, if we do put Cell in a Death Battle, are we gonna get Devil Artemis to voice him, or are we gonna get Taka to voice him? And they just never had a clue. So
they'll probably just have Taka and Devil fight it out.
maybe.
They'll do a bridge Cell versus Devil Artemis Cell first to figure it out.
Yeah, they'll play Dragon Ball Fighters. Whoever wins
there you go.
gets to voice Cell.
There you go.
There you
go. But okay. Oh my gosh, I have to talk about Silver now.
Yes, let's talk about Silver.
It's weird that, like, obviously Ben confirmed that it was Kaiser on the cast, but stayed oddly quiet about Silvers.
Yeah, that was
weird.
Very weird.
Yeah, but you know what? Newton. New face, Isu Onichi,
Yeah.
you know, costume, and oh my gosh, the silver is amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
it oddly sounded like he played silver before.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm probably just talking out my ass. Anyway, oh my gosh.
Okay. So to anybody who's confused, so I was confused. Like I looked back at the credits and I saw Silver's voice actors credited. Frick, what was it? Esu.
Isu Onichi.
Yeah, Esu Onsty, I think. So I was
Onsty.
like, all right. I mean, that sounds like. I mean, it's a rather weird sounding name, but it sounds like a name. I've heard weirder names. So I was like, all right, I'll look that up real quick.
It's like a dick splinter or whatever my guy's name was.
Yeah. But I was like, all right, I'll look it up. I got like, I got stuff completely unrelated to voice acting, by the way. So I was like, all right, I'm done like sugarcoating it. Let's just ask in the server. I was like, what does the term? What does that mean? Like, obviously it's an alias. It has to be. But it's like, what does it mean per se? And they said, literally like 2 seconds later, I got the response: read it backwards. I was like, all right.
Looking back in like the spoiler chat, like after I watched it, because I didn't watch it until a few hours later, I was so confused. Like, they read it backwards, and like I just typed it out.
It's no use.
So for those who are confused, this isn't the first time this has happened.
Roshi happened, not Roshi, happened with
Ichigo.
Ichigo
happened with Sigma. That's it.
Yeah.
Yep, Sigma.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't know why. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Ichigo, Sigma, and to an extent Guy. Except Bennis straight up stated like, yeah, no, that's not what you think. And then Kagi said something weird about that, but alright, whatever. So obviously Esu Honesty backwards is it's no use. And if you've played Team Sonic Racing, which you probably haven't, but I recommend you do it anyway, because it is a very good game that got swept under the radar. To be fair, I guess Crash Team Racing Nitric Field coming out a month later probably didn't help matters. But Silver in that, if you compare his voice clips to that to the way he sounds in this episode, it sounds oddly identical.
Close. I mean, but that's nothing.
And then you're wondering, all right, well, clearly whoever voiced Silver in that game voiced him in this episode. So you look up on, like, I don't know, freaking IMDb or Wikipedia or whatever. It's like, who voiced Silver in Team Sonic Racing? And you get the name Bryce Papenbrook.
yeah.
Okay. I did not think they would be able to do this for a Sonic character.
Me neither. Oh my gosh. Like, I mean, I can understand for freaking Sigma and Ichigo to an extent, but like,
yeah, because like Chris Triglyfair is not playing Sigma again anytime soon, I imagine.
Yeah.
It was just Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and that was it. And then Ichigo, like, no one expected Bleach to come back.
No
one expected the Bleach anime to come back when that episode launched. I'm very happy for Bleach fans that they were wrong, though. By the way. But then just to have it be freaking, like... I mean, I know they worked with Bryce Papenbrook before, but...
Yeah, he voiced Sora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, man... I was not expecting this.
No. You know, I'm happy, though. I'm happy they got him.
Oh no, I'm not. I will say,
Oh my God.
when I saw the preview for the first time, I wasn't into it because I'm more used to Silver sounding like, his original voice from Sonic 06 or more modernly Quentin Flynn.
Mhm.
So when I heard this voice for the first time, I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about that. But then I listened to it again, and I guess I should backpedal just a tad bit. I recently watched Let's Plays of Danganronpa. Um,
Oh yeah.
um, um, so I heard Silver's voice, and I'm like, huh, okay. And then I watched the episode, and a lot more of Silver's lines. The more I listened to it, I was like, uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Like I already had a feeling, but then I think what really tipped me off was the I don't think we're in Mobius anymore line. I was like, yeah. That's Bryce. Because for those who don't know, Bryce Papenbrook is the voice of Makoto, the main character of Danganronpa 1.
And also,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he also voices Nagito.
Yeah, but no one cares about Nagito.
He also voices
well,
Kirito in Sword Art Online. He
Yeah.
also voices
Aaron Yeager.
Yeah, Aaron Yeager in
Yeah.
Attack on Titan. He's voiced Red. In
I keep forgetting about Red.
in Pokemon Origins, and of course he's no stranger to Death Battle as he is voiced Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, cool. So they got Bryce. That's awesome. And then I went back and listened to it again, and I'm like, this is probably one of my favorite voice performances in Death Battle history. It's like I know it's kind of unfair because it's the official voice actor, but even still, it's like
Yeah. Okay, I think for me it's a matter of in terms of the OG actor coming back to play their characters again, I would say Bryce is a strong contender up there. It's a close second between him and Mike Guy.
yeah.
Because,
Although Kaki thinks it was Xander Mobus who voiced Guy, which is interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, if Xander Mobus if I ever meet him, I'll ask him, but I don't think so. But in case that was Xander, then
if it was, I don't know why they would. Whatever. I was like, why would they?
No.
Why would they hide that? So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I know Ben said that like. Yeah. By the way, like we saw a lot of people saying like that. Wow, did they get Skip Stelrex to voice Guy? And we were like, kudos to the voice actor for making people think that, but also no. It was just someone who wanted to keep their identity secret for personal reasons. I'm like, if that is Xander, then what would be going on for him to not be credited?
And for this case, I'll just switch it and say Ichigo because it was also cool hearing Johnny Young Bosch back.
Yeah. Also just hearing him in Death Battle, it's like, man.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It is weird.
Yeah, no, so I gotta admit, Silver didn't have as many cool lines. He didn't have as much dialogue as, say, Trunks. It was mostly just a lot of grunts and screams. But I will say, like ZDogg said earlier, the time, his time attack, and the "it's no use" at the end, like he's fucking.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
this needs Iron Man or something.
I'm sorry.
I'm done.
It needs to be. It needs to be a feat for Death Battle to take a meme line like that and make it awesome.
We're not. That's illegal. You're not supposed to make that line sound so cool.
No.
What the hell? Like freaking. Like I guess I will say freaking. I think like Trunks, like Silver's voice actor, just like if I had to choose between them, I probably would say Silver just because of freaking the Chronos control and it's no use. Like those were absolutely raw, and I like. How do you make that sound so cool? Like,
I don't
oh my
know.
god.
It's like I want, and it's funny because I wanted them to do that. It's like everyone was saying it's like, oh, we're obviously gonna get an it's no use on this because of course we are. But a lot of people were like, a lot of people said that they wanted Trunks to say it, and I'm like, how about Silver says it and he makes it sound awesome?
Yeah, and I know you're only said that it would have been better if they did that, but there was a part of me that disagreed, and I'm so happy that I did because
it would have been, it definitely would have been funny and a little bit
fitting.
cool, but like,
and it would have been fitting because Archie Silver hates that line.
Yeah.
I
mean, freaking, I am so happy that they did this instead. Oh my
god. I'm very happy that they did this instead.
Yes, me too.
It's, oh my god. And like, I mean, like, the rest of his performance is fine. Like, it sounds really good, obviously. But like, freaking, just those two lines, those two shots that are so good.
Yeah, it's like the Chronos control shout. It's like that. I could hear that sense of like desperation.
Yes,
absolutely.
It's like if I don't do, like it's like I will die if I don't do this. So
it was a matter. Poetically, it was. I think when we're comparing Scott and you know who, I think it is just a matter of quantity and quality. Like,
that's exactly how I'm feeling.
So in that regard, it's like Silver had two quality feigner line deliveries, and Scott just had more to do dialogue wise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So
plus, I mean, Silver's Silver's not really one for conversations, especially in a fight.
So I will say though, this is probably my second favorite voice actor pairing we've had this season.
Yeah. I probably would have to agree. And that's saying a lot considering the voice cast we've had this season.
Definitely. But
but yeah, really happy with the voice performances here.
Absolutely, props to both of you guys. Like, it's so good and freaking I'm really curious how Bryce's throat must feel after those shots.
Oh man, I don't know.
After the Chrono control.
I don't know. That's a good question. But we're not done giving out props just yet. Oh man! Just when you thought things couldn't get any better.
Edward Tomorrow was so damn.
Okay, I know I've said this like 3 times this season, but Hedge of Tomorrow is probably my favorite original soundtrack from Death Battle.
It's so good.
It's like Brandon does not miss. He doesn't miss. It's like
he really doesn't.
Oh man, like Okay, well first off, a huge thanks to Ultra Guy for actually paying for most of this.
Yes, thank you, Ultra.
Also, he wrote it. So, the episode. I mean, the episode. I mean,
what?
I should have worded that better. He wrote the episode.
Okay.
But just.
Damn it! There's an internal struggle going in my head right now. Over do I put this, or do I say this is my personal favorite track of the season. That means I would have to say, is it better than Princess of Pride?
That's exactly
Yeah.
where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, both of them are so good, but for different ways. It just.
But the thing is that I can one up that and say that this might be a contender for like my favorite soundtrack ever. Like of the show.
This is definitely in the top. It's in the top 5. It's right up there.
Definitely.
Like, my God, I do. The lyrics. Because I did read what the lyrics are, and oh my God, they so did a good job representing both these characters in those lyrics.
Yeah. This has like someone put it best. This has like that 2000s AMV vibe to it. I'm like I kind of miss that genre of music.
Me too.
This would vandalize that genre coming back, BB.
This feels like...
Dude, yeah, with this and Vandalize coming out for Sonic Frontiers, I'm like, we are back in this genre of music, and I am living for it.
This also does feel like it can be in a Sonic game.
For real.
My gosh.
And also, too, in the reactions I've seen, again, more people have been popping off and noticing the music in this episode than they have the other episodes.
There was one guy I saw who just couldn't stop, like, bopping his head a little bit, starting dancing a little bit to the music. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so... He doesn't, like, outright mention it, I don't think. I could be mistaken on that, but he doesn't outright mention the music, but he is, like... He's having a little, like, dance to it. Like, he's shaking his shoulders, he's bopping his head. I'm like, hey, you don't have to mention the music, because I can see you already really like it.
I'm having a lot of fun with it. Oh, my God.
I really just want to go listen to the music again.
Yeah.
And I brought in... Brandon just went and... Well, I think it was Ultra who paid for the guest vocalist. Logan Adams, I think his name is.
Yes.
Which, weirdly enough, I don't think we have the time to talk about the. Well, obviously we don't. The new commission tracks, the vocal tracks. We'll get to them. We'll get to them eventually. They just still keep coming out, so that's the problem.
Yeah.
But
kind of hard to do it when
that's fair.
But like, one of the most recent ones, I don't remember which one. But like, they brought in that name, Logan Adams. So I'm like. So when I saw his name credited for this track, I was like, "Oh wow, that's convenient."
Agreed.
Oh no, it was for the most recent one, "Symbol of Hope," for Midoriya versus Hajime.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay. Freaking oddball matchup, but that's a story for that's a conversation for another day.
Yes.
Man, I really hope you come back for more songs because it sounds so good.
Okay, when Brandon and Darewolf said that the tracks were in this back half were gonna get I think it was also Luis. Point is, when we were told that the tracks in the back half were gonna get even better, they were not lying.
I mean, we're 3 episodes into this back half, and all of them have pretty good soundtracks at worst. So
yeah, and I love the variety because again, we had a rap track for Adam versus Apocalypse, and now we have, as best described, an early 2000s AMV style track that feels like it belongs in an early 2000s Sonic game that isn't Sonic 06.
Yep.
Hey, you say that.
If it isn't Sonic 06,
you say that,
the
but
best part of Sonic 06.
You say that, but don't diss Sonic 06's soundtrack.
Yeah, true.
That's fair.
Yeah, we're thinking.
Well, no, I just mean that in the way that.
Sonic
Okay, look, I mean that in the way that it doesn't deserve, just like the Sonic 06 soundtrack, it doesn't deserve to be in a crappy game.
Fair. But yeah, all this together shapes up and Yeah, this is my favorite episode of the season.
Yes, absolutely. I
I-
have. Even with the last, what is it, 4 episodes or 5? I think because 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, yeah, 5. We have 5 episodes left.
Yeah.
Okay, between the last 5 episodes, this is a very strong, if not definite contender for my favorite episode of season 9, and possibly in my top echelon of favorite episodes. Period.
Yeah, I still don't know. I still don't know. It's definitely for me. It's definitely competing with that title with Thor versus Vegeta. I don't know. which I prefer.
I can. I can agree with that. Like, but it's like every time I keep thinking, like the Sprite team has peaked. It's like we're not getting better than this, and then they get better than this. And I'm like,
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
like, oh my gosh! It's like I said before. When does it end? It's like
Never.
Yeah.
And
like-
also,
oh man.
Yeah.
and also too, I just got to mention the fact that this episode is once again, like the other episodes, on trending.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Heck yeah. It even got trending on freaking Twitter. That never
Yes,
happened.
I was gonna mention that
it got
too.
the show trending on Twitter. How did they do that?
Yeah.
Not only did they get the show trending on Twitter, but Trunks got trending on Twitter.
My gosh.
Yeah.
So this episode doesn't just get praised from just us on the internet. No, it gets praised on other sites too.
Yep. Freaking, it's so good. Dragon Ball have a bad Dragon Ball have a bad episode challenge.
Like,
I
look,
keep going.
Dragon Ball fans can once
18
again be
versus
pissed
Captain
off.
Marvel.
Yes,
Like,
they can be. Look, the Dragon Ball community can be pissed off as they usually are that another Dragon Ball character didn't win, but I don't really give a shit because
Dude, you know what's funny? You know what's funny about that though is that freaking DJ Tiki noticed that and said he kind of described it best for me. It's like it's kind of taking me back to the to like the 2013 to 2015 age of Death Battle. Like, oh, Dragon Ball character gets in. Oh, they lost. Oh, time for the fans to get pissed.
yes.
And it's like, you know what? Why do I feel like I've missed this? like,
that's the thing. Like verdict aside, you like the Dragon. Like verdict aside, they treat the Dragon Ball characters real good with both the quality and just how they treat their characters with respect. Like
Yeah.
like no matter what, and like I think that's really good.
Exactly.
Dragon Ball don't miss.
Exactly.
Dragon Ball does not miss on this show.
Nope.
It's like even if you want to ignore
nothing
it,
about it.
it's like even if you want to ignore 18 versus Captain Marvel, which why wouldn't you? Yeah, this show this franchise does not miss.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of people are gonna say like, oh, what about Goku vs Superman 2? It's like I mean,
We don't
but
talk
I mean,
about
I'm like, that episode's not perfect, but I still enjoy it.
It's
Maybe
only
it's
good
all-
animation-wise.
Maybe it's alive. It's probably alive.
The animation and it's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're freaking what Death Battle? I mean, freaking the series overall has had like what 1 or 2 missions. Like, my
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah. But
I'm here for it.
this episode.
Oh no, I'm all here for it.
This was a great
Mhm.
episode. I loved it.
Absolutely.
I want to go
Absolutely.
back and rewatch it again.
Yeah. Well,
Now,
you can do that after the recording.
Oh,
Yeah.
fine.
Now my only request for Dragon Ball in future Death Battles is that we take a small detour from the big heavy hitters and we get freaking Team Rocket versus the Pilaf gang.
That or we
Um,
get Videl versus Sakura. Damn it! Not the Sakura from Naruto, the Sakura from Street Fighter.
From Street Fighter, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so down for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Um, or please give us a battle royale between Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my gosh. And
It's like-
Or finally give us a 17.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Yeah. Also, give us more Archie characters, please. Like after this,
That too.
we're good.
Yeah, seriously. Like at this point, I know. Like, I personally preferred Juggernaut versus Overlord. But, at this point, like if they decide, like, hey, we're gonna do Juggernaut versus Archie Knuckles, I'm gonna be like, sure, I'm down.
Or since this episode has been doing good Dragon Ball versus Archie wise, maybe we'll one day get Zeno
Goku versus Archie Sonic.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Sure, why not?
I mean, it's another Sonic win, so I'm chilling.
It's another Goku loss, so you know.
Yeah, so I'm also chilling. I love you, Goku, but you know. Yeah, but it's funny to me that people are like, okay, so we have mainline Vegeta versus mainline Shadow. It kind of includes Archie Shadow, but we have Xeno Trunks versus Archie Silver. So how are we gonna get Goku versus Sonic?
Simple. You just do Zeno Goku versus Archie Sonic.
Yeah. Either that or just
Sonic.
Or for kicks and grins, just for the joke of it, just Dragon Ball Evolution Goku versus movie Sonic.
Yes.
That'd be funny.
Or have Kid Goku fight Sonic from the Sonic cartoon, not Sad AM, the very first one.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
What's funny though is that to my knowledge, when it comes to Goku versus Sonic, Sonic wins all of them except for the main ones.
Fair enough.
So.
Right. Very cool. So yeah, overall, freaking amazing episode, and yet, freaking, holy crap! I think freaking the next time.
Oh my god!
Okay, can we do something unconventional in this episode?
Since when were we ever conventional?
That's fair enough. Instead of just telling people what the next time is, because I don't think we can get these words out of our mouth, because it just makes me believe that we're in a fucked up parallel universe where this is really happening. What if we just show people what the next time is?
Ooh, I like that idea.
Yep.
More editing for me. Freaking huzzah! No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but I'm just sitting here thinking, like, with what we got, I'm like, what did Trunks and Silver do to our timelines?
It's like, what? Much. But you know, I'm cool with this timeline, so I don't care. Freaking out.
Alright, so I don't know if I'll play the official teaser or I'll just make one of my own. Chances are I'm lazy, so I'll probably just show the official teaser, but roll the clip! Yes, indeed.
And insert Dante, what the hell is this?
What in the...
Oh my
your eyes
gosh.
do not deceive you. You're living in the right timeline. We're getting SpongeBob SquarePants versus DC Super Friends Aquaman.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
What?
Okay. So raise your hand if you had your jaw absolutely floored by this result. That is a rhetorical question. You know you did. If I don't see a single person in the comments not raising their hand, you are a freaking liar. It's like, what?
Oh my god. My mind is shattering right now. I feel like my brain cells are dying because they can't comprehend what this is, what we're getting.
Dude, this doesn't even feel real. Like, this shouldn't be real.
No, this shouldn't be real. This is a parallel universe, and I don't know if I want out or not.
It feels like we're in the Matrix. It legit feels like we're in the Matrix.
Like, freaking coming from someone who wanted SpongeBob on the show for the longest time, we'll get into that later. I don't, like, freaking, what? What?
Oh my god.
Oh my god! And not like that even. I don't think that's
How
even
many-
the most surprising part. Freaking we're
Okay.
getting super
Somebody
quick?
down in the comments, if you really want, if you couldn't
What?
tell, do a counter for how many times we say "Oh my god" or we're just freaking out.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's like,
What
oh my
is
gosh,
this?
I don't know. I don't know. That's the weird part. It's like,
What is real anymore?
it's like, man, I thought we peaked in surprise when we got freaking mythology.
Okay.
Wrong.
Freaking.
like-
If we had a time machine and we could go back months ago and tell our past selves, if you think that Hercules versus Sun Wukong is the most what the fuck craziest matchup idea you three have ever seen, give it a few more months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
you-
my god.
Oh, okay, and the craziest thing is, and I told this to the guys off camera, this is technically, not even technically, this is our cartoon fight of the season.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, of all
Oh my
fights,
god.
like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, because like SpongeBob versus mainline Aquaman has been a fight that's been requested for a while. So like,
Yes.
so like when I saw, okay, like I mean, okay, when I saw SpongeBob, I was like, okay, what?
But then you
but then-
see Super Friends.
No, dude, you want to know what? You want? So
like
when,
what?
when I saw Aquaman, I thought for sure it was the mainline one. I was like, okay, this is weird.
But
I was like,
then-
all right, weird. And then they showed Super Friends, and I'm like,
Okay, my brain immediately told me that this isn't just regular Aquaman, because again, the fact that they showed Super Friends Aquaman, I'm like, wait a minute, no, they're not. And then they show another clip, and then it ends with SpongeBob SquarePants versus Super Friends Aquaman. I'm like, oh my god, I saw this when I was at work. I nearly fainted.
Oh my god! Like,
dude,
freaking-
I was floored when I saw. Like, I had no words. I was like, I was just sitting there processing. I'm like, what the heck is this? It's like,
I couldn't even get words. I was just like, between the hype for SpongeBob and the confusion that we're getting.
It's been 2 days. It's been 2 days, and I'm still not able to process this.
no, I still think we're in an absolute fever dream. Like, I still think
We
this isn't
have
real.
to be.
I still don't think this is real.
Okay, look, I will believe this is real when they actually show the fight animation, because
Yeah.
then I will know this is real. It's not a gag. It's not a joke. It's
Nope.
happening.
This is real.
It's
I
like,
don't think I'll be
dude,
I don't think I'll be able to process it when the
For
freaking
all
episode
we
comes
know,
out. Like,
For
until the
all
episode
we
comes
know, look, for all we know, this could be a belated April Fool's Day joke.
Honestly, it's
Yeah.
like, I'm still like, to this day, like, even when I watch the episode, I'm gonna be like, all right, when's the rug gonna be pulled underneath us? When are we getting? When is it gonna be shown that it's actually mainline Aquaman?
Or even better, when is it going to be Sauron versus the Lynch King?
Yeah.
Or when's it going to be Michael versus Jason? I don't know. The point is, it's like, when is it going to be something that we can actually say, oh yeah, I can believe that's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
God. Oh my God.
It's like, all right,
Oh
Death
my
Battle, we get
God.
it. We get it. The joke was funny. Like, we can stop now. And they're just gonna
The
keep going,
fact-
and it's gonna be like, what? Wait,
even
no, please tell me you guys weren't serious.
even that last bit where they hype up they give us the hype music, and then it ends with that sea shanty sound. I'm like, oh my God, we're really doing this, aren't we? Like, we that's it. That is it. And again, you know what this means now? This means we can have other fights that are on this level of ridiculousness happen in the future.
Yeah, it's like one idea that I saw brought up for like a specific version of a mainline comic book character versus someone else was it was Superhero Squad Doctor Doom versus Chaos from Skylanders. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, all right. I mean, that's funny, but that's never gonna happen. And now we got Super Friends Aquaman, and I'm like,
what the fuck? Do we even know what's gonna happen now?
I'm like, all right, you know what? Now I can see it. It's like now
anything can happen now, guys.
What the hell?
Oh my gosh!
I'm here for it, but I'm not ready.
Ironically, we're not ready.
Yeah, we're not ready, which is really weird to say. I know, but we're not. And so those that say you are, don't lie. Don't lie.
No,
you're not.
No, it's like,
yeah. I freaking imagine. Okay, they bring in SpongeBob. There's
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing awful with it.
No, here's the thing. That's the more believable that they're bringing in. Like, I could see them bringing in SpongeBob. It's the same deal with Hercules Sun Wukong. Like, I could see them bring. It's surprising, yes, but I could have seen them bringing it in. Their opponent, what the hell?
Yes, okay.
I never in a million years could have seen them bring in Super Friends Aquaman.
That's where this gets weird. They're bringing in arguably, what most people think Aquaman is, a joke.
Yeah.
This is the version of Aquaman that made everyone think that he was the lamest guy ever.
Yes, this is what killed his serious reputation. This is what kept him from ever getting his own movie, his own live action TV show, his own TV. This is the version that nobody in Hollywood could take seriously.
Oh,
and here he is.
Yeah,
he's fighting Sponge. Okay,
here he is fighting one of the most iconic cartoon characters since Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
What the hell?
He is fighting he is fighting somebody who turned Nickelodeon into what it is today, for better or for worse. But he is fighting somebody who, like Brobuscus says, who eclipses Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny with how popular he's become.
Oh, yeah. What even?
Oh, my God. Okay.
It's like, I wasn't sure how to feel about the idea of SpongeBob being in Death Battle at all.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean,
no, it's not. But it's just something I was thinking about, and I'm like, how do they make that work? And then now, but I was like, but there was still that thought in the back of my mind. It's like, they can find a way, right?
But
now that we actually have it, even ignoring the fact that it's Super Friends Aquaman, the fact that we got SpongeBob.
Yes, SpongeBob.
It's like, wait, we're legit.
We're doing this.
No jokes.
I feel like I'm really looking forward to the explanation next week. I'm looking forward to the commentary because I swear to God, if they literally said if they just make a joke saying we pulled out our mighty our calm shell and we asked what should we do for the next time, and then they say SpongeBob, the calm has spoken.
Oh my, dude.
I will. Or if they just realistically say, we just wanted to see where does the bar end? Where does it end?
It's quite simple, actually. It doesn't.
How much are people willing to let us do what we want to do? Let's test this.
Yeah.
Or if Liam just came out and said, I just wanted to see what would happen if we fucked with people and put this matchup after in the season bracket.
Yeah, freaking everyone expected the Halloween one. Obviously the next one could be Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah.
But No, they pulled the rug on
A
us. Give us
teaser.
a goofy ass fish one.
A Halloween teaser episode, the calm before the storm, if you will.
Yeah, and this is one
Yeah.
calm before the storm.
What the hell?
This isn't even a storm. This feels
This
like
isn't
we're
even
in
a
a
storm.
damn hurricane.
Hey, that's insensitive. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Sorry.
No,
No,
I'm kidding. I'm
sorry.
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
Forgive
kidding.
me.
I'm kidding.
Edit. No, I want to edit that out. This
No,
feels like
it's
we're-
fine. It's fine.
All right,
Uh,
fine.
Like, freaking.
This feels.
Like, what else can we say about it? Like,
Well, we've been going on for about, what, 13, 20-ish minutes, just flabbergasted?
Yeah.
All
Alright. So.
All right.
What was I gonna say?
We got it.
Okay, so obviously everybody and their grandmother knows who SpongeBob is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody
Oh,
who grew up in the 70s and 90s knows what Super Friends is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whether or not you actually watched it or not is a different story, but but yeah. So it's like, okay, I mean, it's cool that they're bringing in another of the most popular characters in all of ever.
It feels weird that they're bringing back Aquaman, but it's not the
Yeah.
Aquaman
Yeah.
we had.
that feels so freaking weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
and,
my
like,
god! And again, I remember seeing a clip. This was prophesized years ago in Aquaman
Yes.
versus Namor.
Yeah. Freaking. Oh my gosh.
The myths were foretold, and we didn't we didn't take them seriously. We just thought they were shitting us.
Nope.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
And then Luis went ahead and just posted a pirate GIF on his Twitter for no apparent reason.
One of those.
Well, it's the pirate from the SpongeBob.
No, I know that, but it was like, but I saw him tweet that, and I'm like, well, that's random. I'm like, it's Luis. It's Luis. It's a red herring. Moving on.
Yeah.
No.
No, freaking. I was like, wait, is the next fight something pirate related? Are we getting Swino versus Cervantes?
Yeah.
What?
Really? What? Like.
Yeah.
And then
All
freaking Biffweed just decided to be like a freaking prophet out of nowhere. And was like, hey, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take a wild guess and say the next fight features SpongeBob. Just for kicks and grins. Probably that's likely not it, but I'm just gonna pick the random one. Where is his source? What is his who is the insider?
Yeah.
Who needs to lose their job? It's like, like
God.
who the heck told him? Even Luis was like, dude, what the heck? Like,
This is weird. This is.
just man. Who the hell?
Okay.
What the
All
hell?
right.
Okay.
Let's just talk about this fight. Goodness, we could literally go on for 2 more hours on how unbelievable this is.
yeah.
Yeah. And freaking, you know what? I am happy that it seems like a decently positive response from the community.
Yeah.
Oh no, dude,
Well,
people were losing their
most-
collective minds.
Yeah, but like. Yeah, but I have seen a lot of people like happy that SpongeBob's getting on, which makes me happy to see. I'm just confused. But
Yeah.
like that is really good to hear that the community is. Oh my gosh, that's also probably why the freaking death battle got trending on Twitter. My gosh,
Probably.
I wouldn't be surprised.
like between John Silver and Dice, like what? I'm not surprised.
I
But
saw a lot of people when it was this. People were like, you know, why is this not SpongeBob versus Chowder or Gumball? And I'm like, here's your answer. Those matchups are bad, and this one's better than it.
Fair enough.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
To this day, I do not understand the appeal to either of those two matchups.
I mean,
It's
I
like
can
don't
get
don't
it.
get it.
I can understand it more. I've never been a fan of any of SpongeBob's matchups as much as I wanted him on. Like,
Yeah, honestly, I
none of
just
them
never was
really
really sold on any of SpongeBob's
like-
matchups.
like none of them like spoke out to me for like one reason or another. Either I don't know, they weren't, they sounded a bit off, or they had like better matchups, like freaking
Like
Like
mainline
the-
Aquaman here.
yeah.
Like everyone suggested.
or
Everyone
making
suggested. Yeah. Everyone suggested like SpongeBob versus Aquaman, and I'm like, but Aquaman versus Namor though. And then they did that one instead.
Exactly.
I'm like, yeah, see, look, even they agree with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, once I saw that episode get announced, I'm like, well, SpongeBob's chances of death are shot.
What?
like his other-
Jake gave it a few years. But, yeah,
because like his other matchups are garbage. So,
unfortunately.
so to see him here and to be against Aquaman, but not actually Aquaman, I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah. Also obligatory that because yes, specifically DC Super Friends Aquaman. No comics at all. No nothing else. Super Friends only. Got it? Good.
Yep, that's it. I
Yeah.
don't know if we'll count the Aquaman cartoon, because there was a 60s Aquaman cartoon, but that technically took place before the Super Friends cartoon. So
I don't know.
I heard
But-
there might be some comics for this particular version of Aquaman, but it won't be. It obviously won't be nearly as insane as regular mainline Aquaman.
that's
Yeah.
fair enough.
So.
Well, either way,
But Richard, you're of the three of us, you're the only one that's actually seen Super Friends, I imagine.
yes, I have.
So is the show good?
Define good. Okay, good is a point of view on this, really. Okay,
Good
okay,
grief, my dog.
if
Yeah.
you've seen the '80s He-Man cartoon, Super Friends is pretty much like that, except with DC characters. It's literally it was a simpler time. The Legion of Doom gets up to their shenanigans. They come close to conquering the world. The Super Friends come in, stop them. Then they go and defeat, rinse, repeat. And somehow this sped into 8 seasons. Different
9 seasons apparently.
9 seasons. Well, technically 10, because there was a Superman cartoon that supposedly took place in that universe as well. So, but whatever. Yeah, 9 seasons, and it was basically a huge phenomenon. Let me put this into perspective. This was the first ever Justice League cartoon that we got.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I did see a couple of seasons of it when I was a kid. I would watch it on Boomerang on their action block.
Oh my
And-
gosh, Boomerang.
Yeah, I know.
Holy crap, that takes me back to my childhood. Good lord.
Yes, an old school
Wow.
Boomerang, not new school Boomerang. Fuck new school Boomerang. It's just Cartoon Network. It's literally just Cartoon Network 2.0. There's no distinction. They took away the old school bumpers. They took away all of the old programming. It is not the same Boomerang. Anyway,
That was the program that had stuff like the Flintstones or Wacky Racers on it. That was my thing as a kid.
same. Anyway, so yes, I did see Super Friends as a kid, and this was to no one's surprise, like many others, this was my gateway introduction to Aquaman. And legit, I just thought he was okay. You know, I never cared much for him on screen. I always preferred Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman, Robin, the Wonder Twins. I actually liked it when the Wonder Twins were on screen more than Aquaman at the time. So,
Oofus.
yeah. And, yeah, I haven't rewatched the series recently, so my knowledge is not going to be that helpful in terms of... But thankfully, since this Aquaman is very much like his comic counterpart, back in the early days before he is now, he does share the same traits as Aquaman usually has.
Cool.
Yes. So anything Aquaman can do that was explained in his analysis, this Aquaman can more or less do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Neat.
Yes.
Because I remember, because like this is we've said it before, but this was the Aquaman that made everyone think that he was incredibly lame. But then, like when this episode was announced, freaking Speedy on the DB server was like, yeah, I find it fun. I find this matchup fun because like no one besides us knows how strong this particular version of Aquaman is.
Yes.
Yeah, which it makes me really interested and also very scared.
Yes. No, because
Hey, now you know how I feel.
Yeah. I have an idea of how strong he is, but that's the thing. They can say that, but he is not. There's no way. I refuse to believe unless they show me he's actually, say, stronger than Super Friends Superman or Wonder Woman or fucking Green Lantern. But yeah.
So yeah, I never watched the show, so I was like I'd heard like stories about it, and I'm like, well, this is a show I'm probably never gonna watch.
But do you have to now? Is the question.
I mean,
no, I don't. No, see, here's the thing. I don't rope this in as a new franchise because it's still DC.
That's fair. I mean,
I didn't get into Dragon Ball Heroes.
That's fair. Okay.
That is fair. I mean, okay, look, I mean, this show is dated.
Well, I would imagine it's a 70s show.
It's cheesy, but damn it, there is still some level of nostalgia and charm I have for it. So this really is going to be a trip back to my childhood.
Well,
and then there's SpongeBob.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's watched at least one episode of SpongeBob.
My childhood.
Yeah,
dude, man, like this was the cartoon that played when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's like,
this is what
there was a bunch of cartoons on at the time, but everyone was like, yeah, no, we're backing out. Like SpongeBob's coming up. All right, we gotta go. This one's gonna catch everybody, and it did.
Yeah, no, straight up.
And then modern SpongeBob happened, and now no one cares anymore.
Yeah, because they took what the creator made and they bastardized it. I mean, granted, it was already going that way because the original creator, Steven, God rest him, he stopped writing for the show after the movie, and they just did their own thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I have heard it gets. I mean, I'm gonna rewatch some of the episodes leading up to this, but I have heard after the second movie it got better.
I actually Ultra, as he usually does, made suggested media blogs. For this one, he usually does that. It's usually for the blog's purposes. But I'm sitting here thinking, like, I mean, there's a lot, but what if I watched a good chunk of these episodes for both SpongeBob and Super Friends, in prep for this? Because like he usually, I mean, most of the time he's not that involved in the episode's research period. In fact, he's not involved in this episode at all. He usually just kind of like skims over the research docs that the researchers bring up. The researchers come up with, and picks out like, all right, which one seems like the most the best points for discussion. Obviously, that doesn't mean like like if it's not in the blog, if it's not in the suggested media, then it's not going to be in the episode. That's not true.
No. Yeah.
And the opposite is true too. It's like just because it's in this document doesn't mean it's going to be in the episode. It's just fun. But I'm sitting here thinking like, well, obviously a few of these have to be important. And he also lists quite a few games as well.
Yeah,
Um,
a lot of the games. Cause, gosh, most of a few of the comics, right? Like
yeah, like 3 comics.
three of the comics. Oh boy.
Yeah, for you gamers out there, the movie game, Battle for Bikini Bottom, Plankton's Robotic Revenge, and Atlantis Square Pandas are the ones that are listed specifically. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
so for you gamers out there that want to play a SpongeBob game and prep for this, there you go.
Yep. Man. So, yeah.
I will say, and this does lead into the researchers, my deepest sympathies for DJ Tiki, because
Yeah,
he was the lead researcher on SpongeBob, and he's gone on record to say that he's kind of tired of like he got tired of doing this real fast.
Yes.
With the show as long running as SpongeBob, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not the longest running show on the show, but like, I don't blame him.
No,
Plus,
in fact, there was one episode that he was writing down notes. He was like writing down notes for each episode, I think. He got to one specific episode. I'm not gonna say which one. You can probably, if you're a big SpongeBob fan, you probably understand. And he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm skipping this one." And everyone was like, "Yeah, that's fair."
I can think of a few.
I find it funny that one of the because sometimes Ultra puts like other media in for like that's mostly as a joke. One of them is that episode, but also one of them is everything post season 3. So I'm like, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few times in the rough, but like, gosh. But yeah. So, yeah, we'll have to go through for both.
Yeah.
What's the guy helping with it? What's the guy helping with DJ on this one?
Ultra helped out a little bit.
Swan is not Swan. Lousington is doing Super Friends Aquaman.
Yeah.
And yep. Not that.
Man, I have to ask him what he thought about watching this cartoon, especially for Aquaman.
Oh boy.
And then Liam is
Writing and
at the
directing.
helm, writing and directing.
And
Man,
didn't he say like it's his favorite episode of this
Yeah.
half?
Yeah. Like
And Origin freaking. Oh, sorry.
he said on cast last week.
Yeah.
It's like stay tuned for the end of Trunks vs. Silver, because I'm writing and directing the next episode, and it is like my favorite episode. It's like the episode I'm the most excited for the season. And we were all like, oh, okay. And then we see the reveal, and we're like, like,
yeah. And even better, freaking Origin on Twitter. Someone asked him about it, I forget how. He said it was like his favorite episode of the show. Like,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah,
Oh
and
gosh.
Boy.
and even Luis was on Tarbrock's stream,
oh yeah,
and he
yeah.
said he thinks that this episode was very good. Like animation-wise, they did a great job with it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so.
oh man, what is gonna happen?
I wish I knew. I wish it was already 2 weeks. So
Right?
I-
Seriously.
I freaking want that announced. I want all the previews now. Like, part of me wants to wait and like go into it completely blind. I can't. I just can't. I'm too
No.
curious.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
Um,
no. I may rewatch Super Friends, but only just fast forward to the scenes that feature Aquaman.
There you go.
I can DM you the media guide if you want.
Yes, please do.
Alright, well,
That would be helpful.
Second, and where's the message? There it is. There you go.
Okay.
Um,
All right. So,
um,
how
But,
the hell do we debate this?
well, first let's talk about production.
Yes.
So this is a sprite fight. It was confirmed on cast today.
Oh, it was? Okay, cool. Which, I
Um,
mean, makes sense. I mean, SpongeBob has had his fair share of sprite games, and Aquaman shouldn't be that hard to make sprites for. Or I'm sure
no,
some
not
already
really.
exist.
Um, so yeah, not surprising. I know a lot of people are like, "Is this gonna be a hand-drawn fight?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. I don't know.
I with how
I mean,
all out they went with Omni-Man versus
Exactly.
Homelander, I don't think they can afford to do that again.
Yeah.
that's exactly.
I'm 95, 98% positive we're gonna get a sprite fight.
Yeah. So.
So I mean, cool. I guess it's like whatever. I mean, this episode's being hyped up by pretty much everybody. So,
Yeah. I swear, if we get a Dio versus Alucard level fight,
dude, honestly,
good.
it's like the researchers are really excited for this. Ben and Chad were like, "Yeah, this fight gets wild." Liam said his piece. Origin said his. Luis said his. It's like everyone's going in, and we're like, "Yeah, this episode's really good."
Okay.
I'm really hoping. I am really hoping it's good.
I am too. I'm
about as nervous as I was for Shadow Yukiko in that aspect.
Same.
But freaking.
I should also note that this episode is going to be a little bit. I don't know to what extent this episode is going to be a little experimental. I wonder if that's just because of the wacky nature of the characters.
Maybe.
But this is going to be a bit of a different experience, to an extent. I highly doubt it's going to be like
Macho Man, Kool-Aid Man. It's not going to be
Kool-Aid Man, or heck, I think even like. I mean, just off of what they were talking about, what the researchers have said, like I think even like Excalibur versus Raiden is going to be weirder than this, format-wise anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just think I think what they mean. I could be sorely mistaken, but I think what they mean is like, this episode's gonna be different because the characters are just so wild.
Yeah, they're freaking wacky. Maybe experimenting with more cartoony characters, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I'm just sitting here thinking, like, how on God's green earth are they going to make a fight out of this?
Oh, they're gonna try.
Yeah.
It's like what? Okay. It's like obviously these two have some degree of combat experience, but like.
Yeah. I mean, I do kind of agree. Like, how are you going to make a fight with them work? Like, they're definitely going to do it, obviously, but like.
Yeah.
Again, they're gonna try. And I can see some of it play out in my head. So I'm very interested in it.
Same.
Like, if this can, like, honestly, if this can be better than Macho Man versus Kool-Aid Man, because that was an out there fight, then I will totally be okay with this. I'm just wanting something entertaining and fun. I guess that's what we need.
Yeah. I mean, right now, my biggest question is, who the frick is gonna voice SpongeBob?
That's
okay, so there was a list. Unfortunately, one of them, who people thought would voice Aquaman, and SpongeBob, they're not coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Assumedly, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
But,
SpongeBob. Oh my God, SpongeBob.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm just gonna say it could be Liam,
It could very well be
but then
Liam.
again, he would be acting as well as writing and directing. So I feel like that would be a lot on him.
I mean,
So
I don't know.
there's Nicholas Andrew Louis.
but I'd be really interested to see a SpongeBob take from now. I'd be very interested.
Let's see. There's Alex Walker Smith from MASH. He does a great SpongeBob voice.
Mm-hmm.
There's Wile E. Coyote. These are all names that these are all just names that were that I saw Tank ZDogg, a fellow friend, a colleague, mention on his Twitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know any of them. Let's see, because it is definitely one of those things, like very much like Mickey, where like he has such a distinct voice and hard voice to get down. Like, how? Who's gonna do it? How would you? Is the question. So
that is a good question.
I think Brob is occupied with his dog right now.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not.
Oh, sorry.
It was weird because I thought my audio cut for a second. I was like, what? That was weird. Although one of my dogs did just run off, so I don't know what his deal is.
Okay. I don't know. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, they just get somebody who can do a good fan impression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
the
whoever chooses the voices, I forget who it is. Like, whoever chooses the voices, Larissa, yes.
It's mostly Marissa, yeah.
Okay, Marissa does know what she's doing when it comes to voice casting, so I'm sure
she does.
She's got someone good.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's got someone good.
I think they are definitely going to pick somebody who is like, okay, that's actually close to Tom Kenny as we're gonna get, so I'll take it.
Yeah, because I don't think this is a case where they can just go. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound quite like Tom Kenny, but it's them like what they did with Steven. It's like, I don't think they can do that for SpongeBob. That voice is just too iconic.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, if it's not Tom Kenny, or like if it doesn't sound like Tom Kenny, then we might have problems.
Agreed.
But in that regard, it's like, what the heck are they even gonna do? Because like who on earth has that level of like, who can do that voice and that laugh? It's like,
and many of the people that I mentioned, I think they could do it.
Yeah, they definitely could, but it's just a question of who.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
I'm sure it's not going to be as hard finding one for Aquaman.
No,
probably not.
Well, I mean, they can't. I don't think they are going to bring back Kanji to voice Aquaman this time.
No, probably not.
No,
not.
I mean,
as cool as that would be, probably not.
Yeah, I think it's just too different of a role compared to.
And it's a different Aquaman, so I think they are going to go with somebody who can match the Super Friends style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Probably might even like modernize it too, like they did with She-Ra.
Yeah.
That'd be neat.
It's like, hey, what if this show actually had good voice acting? But
Exactly.
But yeah. I mean, I guess we'll wait and see. But Godspeed to whoever they pick.
Mhm.
Godspeed indeed. This voice cast is going to be buck wild.
Yeah. And I even bigger question. Well, okay, not that big a question. For the music, like
Yeah.
Werewolf
Are they-
Media.
I
Yeah, probably.
disagree.
It's going to be
They-
Werewolf. It has to be.
I mean, it is probably, but like freaking, I kind of want it to be Brandon just based on the freaking past three
That's
commission
true.
SpongeBob scores. Like, I mean, I personally like how they sound. I don't know if you guys do, but like,
I don't think
he
I've
just
listened to many of them.
Hmm.
But I'm just sitting here thinking, like, it wouldn't be fitting. But like, what if they actually? What if it is Brandon and he just goes unironically hard?
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he goes hard with the commissions, so. But like, I mean, I don't know. I
It's
mean,
like
I
you-
wouldn't be
you-
surprised if it's Werewolf, but like, I don't know.
It's like
I am kind of hoping
you-
it's Brandon.
You think of this matchup after after the dust settles, I guess. And you think like, okay, so for the music, it's probably just gonna be like this really upbeat, chipper, cartoony sounding music. But then you think it's like, wait, this is a fight, and one of them's gotta die. What if
Yeah.
they just decide to go like super hard with it for no reason?
That'd be so funny. Oh my gosh.
It
Uh,
will.
Um,
Oh my gosh. Also one last thing. It's kind of related to the voice that I forgot. I think I saw this somewhere. I kind of hope they get a French narrator as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
Narrating the fight akin to Hercules Song Wukong. I think that'd be really
Yeah.
funny.
I mean, if Liam's not
That's a-
voicing SpongeBob, he'll probably do that.
Yeah, and
Um,
go through the French narrator.
Agreed.
I would love that.
And there goes. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I'll let them do their thing.
Okay.
So.
That's not too distracting, but
Yeah.
oh boy.
So. So when you think about this matchup, like when you finally dive into it, and you're like, all right, who'll be winning
I'm
this?
Do a deep dive, you could say.
Okay, well, the discussion on this one is very SpongeBob focused, which I find both
There's-
hilarious but also a tad bit concerning.
Yeah, right now it is definitely seeming like the SpongeBob sweep, but like,
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like if SpongeBob does win, then like, all right, cool, I'm chilling. But
gosh, I don't want him to win.
yeah, I know ZDogg, you really want SpongeBob to win this.
I didn't go into this, but like SpongeBob's like my favorite character they've used all season. Like I so want him to win, but like, the question is, can he do it? And
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, from what I
mean, it
have
sounds
heard,
it sounds like he can. Like it sounds like everyone's
definitely
thinking.
can.
It's like everyone's
But-
thinking that SpongeBob's winning this, but I have my doubts that people are really diving into Super Friends.
Yeah,
And
it's just problematic.
at first, I was convinced it could be SpongeBob's game, and I still do think it can. But
Yeah.
I want to wait until I've rewatched all of Super Friends to make a clear judgment, because right
Agreed.
now the consensus is,
Yeah.
oh yeah, SpongeBob should win because of Toon Force, and he's a sponge, and he's kind of hard to do physical damage to.
Yeah,
But again, this is 70s and 80s cartoons were kind of out there, so who's to say?
And it is
really?
like I know that this isn't DC Comics, but it is still DC.
Yeah, and their
Yeah.
cartoons were wacky.
indeed.
Yeah. So
I-
I don't know.
Yeah,
Right now, obviously, right now I'm siding with SpongeBob. But
Yes.
that's just because I hear more about what he can do.
yeah.
Yes.
It's like, but
And what
I
it's-
just
what it
have
can do
that
is very
question.
impressive.
That's like, I have that question. It's like, what can Aquaman do? And no one seems to be giving me a solid answer aside from the blog, which I do have pulled up, but it doesn't have any like big calcs or major abilities for Arthur yet. Heck, they filled out the weaknesses section for Arthur before they even touched SpongeBob. I'm like, all right, it's like everything I've heard. It sounds like this is an easy win for SpongeBob because like he's like tilted the planet at one point. He's unraveled the entire universe. Yes, really.
Because he can scale the magic to rain to the sun and back.
Yeah.
Again, why not?
Yeah. He's got pretty crazy regeneration.
Yeah. He's got some really good hacks with the pencil, like just
yes.
Freaking.
It's like he's got a lot going for him. I'm not gonna say that he doesn't, but the question for me remains, and this is also just because like we are recording this like 2 days after this episode got announced, but I'm just left wondering like what can Aquaman do? Like it doesn't even have to be useful. I just want to know like what does what is because everyone's like SpongeBob can do this, he can do this, he can do that. It's like he can like this could probably work against Aquaman, this could probably work against Aquaman. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's all well and good. I'm really happy to hear all of that. Now, what can Aquaman do? Because it's got to be something.
Yeah.
It's like I absolutely refuse to believe that this version of Aquaman is actually the useless character everyone knows in memes.
Yeah, no, he has to have done something useful.
Yeah, because otherwise, why bother?
Like, yeah, no, they wouldn't just put him here if he didn't have... Because, again, I've mentioned before, he does have the standard, okay, he has super strength, super durability, super speed, at least underwater for that matter. He can control all of ocean life, and his body is durable enough to where he can survive the deepest depths of the ocean and not have his body crushed by all of that pressure. He obviously must be able to at least be on par with either Superman or Wonder Woman. So there's got to be something. So aside from those standard abilities, I think physically, if I just had to say physically, physical-wise, Super Friends Aquaman does kind of trump SpongeBob, just because he has, superhuman abilities, whereas SpongeBob is just a cartoon sponge.
Yeah.
SpongeBob can do whatever the writer says he can do. So, there is a part of me that is nostalgically rooting for Super Friends Aquaman, but I am betting SpongeBob. But again, I don't want to make decisive, conclusive. Who am I going with? Because again, my streak must continue. I have been on a huge winning streak.
Gosh. Okay. Here's my things. What I'm thinking, despite that. How, stats aside, how does Arthur kill SpongeBob? Because that's the thing.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The SpongeBob durability is freaking insane. He doesn't have any organs. He
does have a brain and a heart. He
has a brain and a heart. But he's been ripped apart. He's been split apart. There's a lot he can survive with no issue. My main I'm mostly wondering if he has any pyrokinesis or anything heat related, because that is one of the main weaknesses of the SpongeBob universe. You get too much heat, get too much heat on yourself, or if it's too hot, you're done for.
Yeah, because there was an episode of the Olympics where SpongeBob and Patrick were competing, and Patrick had to jump over a bat of oil,
Yes.
And he missed it. Well, he went over it, but he flipped it, and it turned civilian fish into fish sticks. So, for all intents and purposes, he killed them.
Yes, murder.
Yeah.
That's my favorite murder.
My favorite thing in a children's cartoon. Murder.
Yeah, so, I mean, ZDogg is not wrong, but as far as I know, from what little memory I can recall, I don't think Aquaman has any pyrokinesis. Because again, why would Aquaman, Aquaman,
why would he have pyrokinesis?
His whole fucking deal is he has powers that relate to the fucking 70% of the damn ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although realistically, if you just wanted to, if you were just wanted to take the piss, Aquaman could just show up, use something to say, "I am the king of Atlantis. I am the king of the sea," and SpongeBob would just get along with him instantly because, again, 70s Aquaman is a pretty chill and nice guy, so I could totally see him and SpongeBob hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Or you would just get rid of SpongeBob because, god dang, Squidward needs a break.
This
man has terrorized Squidward for so long. Somebody needs to put him out of order.
He's like, but it's like, they could be friends. Too bad this is Death Battle, though.
Yeah, too bad. But,
yeah, you can't have friends unless you're in Deadpool versus Big Cat, but
that's bullshit. All Might versus Mike guy showed us the power of friendship.
That is true, but they do have to murder.
Someone still died though.
That is fair. Well, technically both of them died, but
yeah,
that technically counts as someone. Anyways,
fair enough.
Yeah, but anyways, what ZDogg said, that's kind of my question too. It's like, stats aside, because I'm not judging stats right now. I'm not down to stats. I'm not doing that. I don't it could be a complete stat stomp for all I know, but right now I'm not making any judgment. I don't know who's stronger. I don't know who's faster, and frankly, right now I don't care. But my biggest question is, how can Aquaman kill SpongeBob? It's like, can he? If he can't, then there you go.
GG.
Obviously.
Yeah. If he can, and that's when I'll go to stats. It's like right now, I just really want to know, what can Aquaman do to put SpongeBob down for good. Maybe it is just pummeling him to the ground. I don't freaking know. Aquaman could be that strong for all I know, but it's until that's kind of my thing right now. It's like, until I see a valid way for Aquaman to put SpongeBob down for good, I think I'm going to stick with my guns and go for SpongeBob. But I want this on record. I know I've said this 3 times in a row, but I'm reiterating. I am not locking this in right now. Especially since the discussion on this episode is very SpongeBob heavy, and not a lot of people are really discussing what can Aquaman do.
Yeah, it's very much a Poe versus Iron Fist case where all this love is on one character and guys, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least with that one though, it's both Poe and Iron Fist have been looked into forever.
That's true.
It's like everyone has a pretty good idea of how strong and how fast those two are. With this one, it's like, I don't think anybody has really dived into the versus side of things for either of these two, really.
No, they haven't.
More so SpongeBob.
Exactly. So, with that
I will say I have seen a calculation for the show. I don't know how legit it is, obviously. That Doug put it at star level, but I have no clue if Aquaman should scale to that.
I mean,
this is for Super Friends.
Yes, this is for Super Friends.
Okay, I know. I read it on the blog. I think Superman pushed the Earth out of a black hole.
That's
there you go.
which is very good.
There
I don't know.
is hope.
I don't know if that's what ZDogg was referring to, but
I don't know myself. But and like also just the question is, what's Death Battle gonna count? Like, what's Death Battle gonna count? Like, yeah, they freaking have characters at the maximum potential, but like, what's gonna be counted? Because again, SpongeBob is a very inconsistent universe. And
yeah,
with
because
its feats and all that.
SpongeBob has a lot of like one-off items, and one-off abilities because it's just writing. That's just what, like it's It's just a Saturday morning cartoon. You're not supposed to take it super seriously. But I'm seeing like the blog.
But we are, for the sake of this argument, we're taking it seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the blog and they're giving them an actual boat. They're giving him the a Sunday from like one episode. They're giving him a metal gauntlet that he's never actually like used in combat before. He just pulled it out at one point.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, he should definitely get a spatula. I'm guessing they are going to give him the pencil. It's just well beyond that.
Yeah. And obviously, obviously karate, that kind of stuff. But it's like,
I don't know.
How much does the rest of this really count?
Exactly.
Because some of it shows up in one episode and he doesn't even use it. Others he does use in one episode, and then they completely disappear from existence the next thing you know. So it's like, okay, the spatula, sure, yeah, that makes sense. And obviously, like his spongy abilities.
Right.
What else?
Well, just everything.
Probably some stuff from video games.
Yeah. The bunch
his karate gear, yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing also the Invincible from the second movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's listed, but that probably will be included.
Like one of the things listed is the freaking invisible spray. Does anybody remember that? That's listed in the blog. I'm like, there's no way. It's like,
that would be so funny.
Like
oh
that, they're not giving him that. That's
I don't know if it should, but I don't know. So.
But I also imagine Aquaman is kind of in a similar boat. No pun intended.
Yeah.
So really, we're just kind of left with what are they even doing? Which I guess is kind of the question from day one, but still. So I don't know. I guess if you want to count final bets from our podcast, I'll say SpongeBob.
I am. This may be nostalgically blind, and just based on everything I've seen, I am going SpongeBob. I really hope he wins, but we'll see.
We will see. I'm gonna wait and see. I'm not picking anybody. Yet. I'm gonna wait.
Maybe I don't know if we'll have time for this, but maybe if we read up on some Super Friends and watch more of the show, maybe we'll do a mini discussion before the episode comes out.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Adding on to the episode, adding on to our discussion here, but yeah. Just.
I don't know. The sad thing is that I almost kind of want Aquaman to win because of A, how much the discussion seems to not talk about him, and B, it just could be kind of ironic for me, like if the memed worst version of Aquaman ends up winning a death battle.
Okay, that would be funny, but I don't. No.
Yeah. I mean, like, as far as like my own personal experience goes, like, yeah, of course I'm rooting for SpongeBob, but
Yeah.
but it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like a Black Adam versus Apocalypse sort of situation where it's like, yeah, of course I'm rooting for this one guy because I'm more knowledgeable about him, but I also kind of want this other guy to win because imagine,
God.
but right now
I mean,
it's like,
it freaking worked in the same way, in that way for Adam Apocalypse. So, oh, no.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna chill for the next 2 weeks.
Same.
Wrap my head around the fact that this is a thing that exists.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna freaking be in dread. Because, oh, no.
Now it's ZDogg's turn to be in Spain without the S.
Yeah.
Yep.
Feel my pain.
Mhm.
Man, I haven't been this very short episode in a long time. Like, freaking, I knew, like, even with Shadow Ryuko, I knew Ryuko was losing that, but, like, this, I have hope.
Your concern there was that the episode wasn't going to be good.
Mhm.
Yeah, but freaking.
Turns out
freaking
I mean, hey, look at it this way. In that sense, your concern was unwarranted because the episode was fantastic. But
valid. So I hope my wording here pays off.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and end it before we all pass out.
Probably a good idea.
That's true.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for us.
I think we talked longer talking about this episode than we expected.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Pretty much.
We just had so much to say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, if you enjoyed this episode, let us know in the comments below. Like, leave this video a like, all that. You know how YouTube works. If you enjoyed, I hope you enjoyed Trunks vs. Silver. If you didn't, how? Actually, how? Hope you guys are. Hope you guys can get over the confusion over SpongeBob versus Aquaman. And if you can, then I hope you're looking forward to this episode. Let us know what you guys think about it in the comments. And what weird, wacky version of a comic book character do you want to see in the future?
Any character in general. You want to see the Super Mario Brothers show? You want to see the Super Mario Brothers Super Show version of Mario fight someone? Let us know. But yeah.
And I mean, I guess I don't know. I'm just gonna throw this in randomly, kind of like a community match for the podcast. Xeno Goku versus Archie Sonic, yay or nay?
Sure.
There you go.
There you go.
So yeah. So that's it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.